Hi, my name is Bob Helmbrecht. I'm one half of the husband and wife realtor team of JoAnn and Bob with my wife JoAnn Maddalena. We're with Coldwell Banker in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Today I want to talk about the comparative market analysis. What is it and why you really need to have one if you're thinking about selling your home. If you've been looking at realtor websites, you probably see lots of people offer you a comparative market analysis. And basically what it is, it's a report that examines the prices at which properties comparable to the subject property, your house, have sold for, ideally in the past 6 months, with the goal of determining the appropriate listing and sale price for your house. So for our purposes, a comparable property, or a comp, is one that's of similar size to the subject property, which is your house, similar age, similar condition, on a similar lot, in a similar neighborhood. So when you're talking about size, you really want comps that are within about 300 square feet of the size of your house. You want comps that have the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms. If your house has a 2-car attached garage, you're looking for comps that also have a 2-car attached garage. If your house is on a slab, you're not really looking for comps that have basements. And also you want houses that were built, within a few years of the time that your house was built. And then when we're looking at the property itself, the lot, generally you're looking for something on a similar lot size, similar lot characteristics. If your house is a level lot and you don't necessarily want to be looking for comps where there's a stream running through the backyard of the other property, or maybe you're on the slope of a hill. So again, that's the kind of stuff we're looking for when it comes to the lot. You're also looking for ones that are in a similar neighborhood. So if your house is in a neighborhood where the lot sizes are 1 acre minimum and everybody has a wooded lot, you don't necessarily want to be looking at a house that was a tear down on a neighborhood with 1/4 acre lots and someone built a similar house to yours on there. And the same goes the other way. If your house is on a 1/4 acre lot in a neighborhood with sidewalks and curbs, you're not really looking at a similar size lot that's a smaller lot in a rural area, because again, they're not really apples to apples comparisons for the property. And if you're in a townhouse or like a newer development where they are very standard house styles, house sizes, you really need comps that are in the same development and comps that are the same model as your property. And once you've started getting a pool of comparables, you really want to end up with about 3 to 6 sold properties. If you can't find 3, you probably need to broaden your criteria a little bit. You may be in a smaller town, or it may be a custom home where there just simply weren't that many of that model, that size built. And if you end up with a lot of comparables, then your criteria probably aren't defined well enough. You're probably ending up with houses that really aren't that comparable, so you may want to look at your criteria and start narrowing them down a little bit so that you've got a smaller pool of properties. Then once you have your pool of properties, you want to start comparing details. So what we'll look at property condition. There's one house fixer-upper, whereas another one has new kitchens and baths. There's one nice and well maintained, but the other one across the street we're comparing to has all new carpets and new paint jobs. Those types of things we need to look at when we make our comparison. We also want to look at features. For example, if all 6 of our comps have basements, which ones have finished basements? Which ones have recently finished basements? They may all have 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, but do some of them have a master bedroom suite, whereas the other ones don't have, that 4th bedroom with its own bathroom? Those are the kind of interior features that we're looking at. Fireplaces, upgrades to to lighting, all that kind of stuff we take a look at so that we can make our comparisons. Then we also look at exterior features. Are there ones that really could impact the sale price of the property? Things like flood zone, for example. If you have one house in your list of comps requires flood insurance, that's really going to impact the price of that one versus the other properties. We look for things like visible high-tension power lines, or maybe easements that are affecting the use of the property. If you have properties that several comps have pools, and then this one can't because there's a sewer line easement running through the middle of the property, again, that's going to impact the potential sale price for the house. And even in developments, this can be a factor. If you have a townhouse development and one end of the development backs up on a major highway and the other end of the development backs on preserved farmland, that is going to affect the sale price of the properties, and it's something that we have to take into account when we're coming up with a suggested price. So once we've done that work, we've put together our pool of comparable properties, we've started making some of the side-by-side adjustments, then we're ready to put together our comparative market analysis report for you. So what do you get when we send that to you? You'll get info on all the properties that we used, including a map so you can see the locations of where these houses are in relation to yours. You'll also see a side-by-side comparison of all the properties so that you can compare and kind of see at a glance bedrooms, bathrooms, features, so you can kind of see really easily how these properties compare to your house. And then you'll also get our recommendation for what we believe is a reasonable listing price range for your house. You can kind of look at that price range as a set of guardrails, keeping you from underpricing the house on one hand or overpricing it on the other. And we feel that'll give you a really solid recommendation for where you should consider listing your house for sale. So you may be thinking to yourself, why do all this? Why not just go to one of the big websites that lets you just type your address in and it'll pop out a number? This is how much your house is worth. The problem with those sites is it's just an algorithm. It just takes all the raw data, the raw numbers that have been inputted into the system. It just churns them out and then just spits out a number, which there's no intelligence, there's no judgment. It's just a calculation that can't take into account things like the condition of the house, like curb appeal, like neighborhood features. Personally, I always kind of feel it's like a little deceptive because the online estimates are so precise. You'll type it in and it'll say your house is worth $467,263, and people kind of look at that and say, wow, they've got it down to the dollar. This must be really really accurate figures. Whereas realistically, and I think a lot of times when you look in the fine print of the website, it's really, well, your house is probably worth $467,263, plus or minus 8%. And, that is just not the kind of range, not the kind of reliability that you can use to put your house on the market. So really, if you're thinking about this, it's really worth taking the time to get someone to put together a comparative market analysis for you, to give you a quality number using professional judgment and up-to-date information. So if you're thinking about selling your house in Central Jersey and you'd like a free comparative market analysis, you can just go to our website. I'll put the link in the description. Our website's www.joannandbob.com, and click on Comparative Market Analysis, and it'll take you to an online form. You just put in your address, your property details, so that we can go and we can take a look at that and research it and prepare a comparative market analysis for you to use so that you have a good number to work with if you're thinking about selling. So if you found this video useful, please like and consider subscribing to the channel, and we hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.